Clash Royale has 38 evolutions, so I'm going to tell you what evos you should and should not be using by ranking all of them. Starting in last place is Goblin Drill. I mean, this is very self-explanatory. We've been dogging on Goblin Drill for years just because of the fact that everything that counters normal Goblin Drill counters it, and also the whole point is the Goblin Drill tanks for the Goblin, so if it keeps retargeting, renders it useless. 35th, I'm going to put Bats. Now, Bats on its own, like, they do what they do. They're Bats. Now, the Evo really does nothing. For instance, a huge, win rate with Baby Dragon Evo out, with a lot of just splash damage air cards really being popular in meta. Evo Bats really don't find their place anywhere in the meta. And 34th is Bomber. Now, Bomber evolution, a lot of lower HP, more squish units are going to be down here currently because of just the current meta and the aspect of it. But Evo Bomber is 2 cycles for an evolution that rarely gets value. It's hard enough to line up a Magic Archer for most players, but being able to line up a Bomber that bounces 4 times across the entire map is kind of hard to line up. On top of that, it just doesn't do enough damage for it to really be worth it. Now, in 33rd place is iDragon. iDragon is the most underwhelming evolution of all time. Probably most potential. It's just, it never gets the chance to get that much potential. By the time it gets to the point where it can do enough damage, it's dead, or it keeps getting reset. Next is Royal Giant. Now, Royal Giant does not have a huge wow factor like a lot of these cards. I mean, it's a small knockback. You're better off with most Evos than Royal Giant in your Royal Giant decks. Next, we have Skeleton Barrel. Skeleton Barrel was cracked when it first came out, but after Furnace Evo, Baby Dragon, Executioner, Cannon Evo, and after people just started realizing how hard you could counter this, it just became such a bad card. Next, we have Dark Goblin Evolution. Now, Dark Goblin Evolution is very low on this list for me because it used to be so good, and then they nerfed its hit speed, damage, time its poison. They basically nerfed the entire Evo in every way. Next, we have Evo Barbarians. Now, Evo Barbarians are not the worst Evo in the game. Do not hear me wrong. But you're better off with just different Evos in your decks than when you're using Barbarians. They're really heavy, and using a slot on them is not really worth it. Next, we have Firecracker. Firecracker can get good damage, but for the most part, is just useless. If you know what you're doing, it almost never gets value, and that's why I'm putting it so low on the list. Evo Muskie can get value. I think it's too many cycles for it to get enough value, and the decks that are in are already busted alone, so having it and saying it's good because you use it in those decks, I don't think is a valid argument. Evo Mega Knight. Mega Knight is one of the worst cards in the game in my opinion. Evo Mega Knight is a bit harder to defend because it does bait out more elixir, which is the only reason why it is a bit higher up on this list. That being said, I mean, we've all seen the pay to lose Mega Knight videos. It never can do more than another Mega Knight besides bait out another card. Archers. Now, Archers are used in a lot of popular decks right now and are very obnoxious to deal with in those decks. Evo Archers has got nerfed so heavily that it literally went from an S tier evolution to probably like a D tier evolution in one patch note. The Archers do 200 damage when they're at full range versus like 100 damage or so. So it's not that big of an increase, and honestly, I find them pretty easy to counter with Vines. Next, we have Evo Battle Ram. Evo Battle Ram, I had this right after Archers because it is one of the first cards you get that actually has an Evo, which makes it good. It's just, its ability isn't that strong, and I like how they soup up the whole card, but I just feel like you don't need to play much extra that you would for a normal Battle Ram. Next, we have Evo Hunter. Now, Evo Hunter is good in RG decks. I feel like right now, with Vines coming out, it takes his whole ability and turns it to a whole separate card. So if you're using him for that ability, you might as well just use Vines. Next is Evo Mortar. Now, Evo Mortar is devastating. Mortar on its own is devastating. Evo Mortar really buffs this card, and really, without Evo Mortar, Mortar would not be a card, which is why I'm not putting it at the bottom, but it takes 1,000 years for it to spawn. I think if they made it spawn time less, it would be more widely used. Other than that, though, Mortar goes in D tier. E-Dragon used to be amazing, used to chain infinite times. Then they buffed it, how much it stuns, how much it damages, and they made the damage fall off after a certain amount of charges and limited them to 10, making him almost useless. Next, we have Wizard. Wizard is great for defense with his one-time ability, but that's it. It's just a one-time ability, so that's why I have him so low. Snowball Evolution. Now, Snowball Evolution, I love what they're doing with Spell Evos. It's just that it takes 2 cycles to get to it, so, I mean... And also, in a lot of decks, there are better Evos for you than Snowball Evo. Next is Evo Witch. Now, Evo Witch, I kind of put her in the middle of the pack, but lower middle, because she has got nerfed so many times where you can't run the decks where you just farm 1,000 skeletons. Also, I feel with Vines, again, you can just hold her in place and have her get pounded. It's just no bueno. Then we have Evo Zap. Evo Zap you rarely see. Gets good value though. It literally, for the cost of, you get an arrows every 3rd time you play Zap. That being said, it is 2-cycle. Zap is not a widespread used card right now, but the Evo is not bad. Next, we have Evo Tesla. The reason I'm putting it here is because it has a high use rate, and on top of that, Tesla is a good card. Evo Tesla makes Tesla even better. Next is Evo Furnace. Now, Evo Furnace has a 30% use rate currently in top 200. That is a huge number. Furnace on its own is very easy to counter. A lot of people realize that, especially with the new season being Baby Dragon Vines. So I'm not going to put it any higher than this. That being said, though, it does shred through pushes. Next is Goblin Cage. Now, Goblin Cage is a great card. Diddy Cage, the evolution, is absolutely insane. I don't know why a lot of people don't use it. Well, I know why, but I think the reason why people don't use it is because it doesn't fit in a lot of decks. That being said, it full counters almost the entire meta. Goblin Giant P.E.K.K.A. Vine Spell, you can pull things down and Goblin Cage will pull it in. It's a really underrated card, and it's every other cycle, which is what makes it so good. Next, we have Ice Spirit. Now, I know Ice Spirit is a bit underwhelming to some players, and I get that, but I think the reason why Ice Spirit is so high is because you get 2 stuns, and it is a cycle card, so you get it constantly. So it's like you're going to get Ice Spirit evolution faster than you are going to get any other evolution in your list. Valkyrie, I place right above Ice Spirit. Now, I place her here because she is a end-all, be-all full counter. When you see it, no push from you. You've lost your pushing rights. But she is not higher because she doesn't do as much damage. And also, once you kill her, you know, you can kill her decently and then get back to your pushes a turn later. Next, we have Lumberjack Evo. Now, the reason I'm putting Lumberjack Evo over Valkyrie Evo is because of the fact that Lumberloon is broken, but he's fast. So with him being fast, he can get to his target way quicker than a lot of cards. And that ghost, you just not being able to kill the ghost makes him such an overpowered evolution that you're guaranteed 3-4 hits with him. Next is Night Evolution. Now, Night Evolution has seen major balance changes, nerfs, buffs. I would come to say it is one of the most balanced evolutions in the game, if not the most. But I think having it with a damage reduction is so overpowered, it basically doubles his health bar while he's moving. If you're looking for a first Evo to get, Night Evo would definitely be an amazing pick for you. Next is Goblin Giant Evolution. Now, Goblin Giant Evolution, I don't think I need to say more than Goblin Giant Evolution is probably top 10. So I think it's up here because, for one, Goblin Giant P.E.K.K.A. is busted, but for two, having just a bunch of small goblins to spawn while you just is just way too overpowered. Next is P.E.K.K.A. Evolution. Now, I know P.E.K.K.A. over Goblin Giant Evolution is kind of a hot take, but I think it's not, because having a P.E.K.K.A. just regenerate health is overpowered, because the whole part is, oh, draw him out to the middle, and then, oh, he kills the 3 skeletons and then dies. No, you can't just defend him with 3 skeletons. You need to play more cards, which is what makes him so good. He's a elixir-provoking card. Next is Evo Skeletons. Now, talking about skeletons, I think Evo Skeletons is such a good evolution, and I put him at number 6 here because he always will bait out a spell. For 2, he will, if you don't deal with him, he will full counter your entire push, and you have to deal with him fast. So if you're waiting on another half elixir, your push is already dead. Again, another Evo I highly recommend. These top 10 Evos you should 100% be considering getting. Next is Goblin Barrel Evolution. Goblin Barrel Evolution will always get value no matter what deck you put it in. Because think about it, worst case scenario, it baits out an extra 2-3 elixir dealing with the little goblins. Best case scenario, one of the side gets 500 damage. There is no downside to this evolution, besides maybe, oh, I want Goblin Giant over it, or oh, I want Night Evolution over it. Next is Wall Breakers Evolution. Now, Wall Breakers Evolution, this does have one disclaimer. I get that if you have a building and cycle, Wall Breakers Evolution gets pretty much hard countered. That being said, if you can outcycle a building, which is what a lot of Wall Breaker decks do, that being Hyper Bait, a lot of bait decks currently, you just have to deal with them so much more heavily. You can't just log them like you do normal wall breakers. You can't swarm them, otherwise they're dead. You have to play a building. Next, I have Recruits. Recruits are one of my favorite evolutions in the game, and I think Recruits being an overall goated card, an amazing card in the meta right now. Evo Recruits are so nasty, especially with Baby Dragon Evolution. Having your cards be able to just sprint 5 times speed of light at their tower is just way too overpowered. And also, Recruits will always get damage. They are the most deceiving cards. A 2 HP Recruit will still somehow get 500 damage in your tower. Next, we have Baby Dragon Evolution. Now, Baby Dragon Evolution is a very big sleeper Evo. I know a lot of people, they saw it come out, and I know its use rate has gone down tremendously, but having your units be able to run at Mach 10 when they're supposed to be like super slow, I think is so overpowered. On top of that, Baby Dragon does good damage and is a flying mini tank. So you should definitely be using it. Next, we have Executioner Evolution. I think it still deserves to be this high just because of the turn-off value it has for so many win conditions in the game. I think if it had a higher use rate, so many decks would be so bad. Now, the best evolution in the game, by far in my opinion, is Cannon Evolution. I think having a full board wipe is way too overpowered, and on top of that, it's a great defensive option. Let me know what you guys think of this list. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.